Please be seated now. Our service is about to begin. Good morning, everyone, here in the sanctuary. Oh, good morning, yes. Here in the sanctuary and those watching virtually. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Jersey Shore. Oops. We ask that you please place your cell phones in worship mode. Thank you for joining us. We who bring a teaching of hope, who welcome all on our doors, the joyful, the heartbroken, atheists and Christians, Muslims and Jews, straight and gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, transgender, all who are searching, seeking, looking for more meaning, more service, more love. All of us gathered here together. My name is Cynthia Javinsky, and I am your worship associate this morning. I am a member of this congregation, and I currently serve it as a member of the nominations committee, the wonderful, awesome UU choir we have here. I'm also a member of the Buddhist Sangha, and on occasion you'll see me playing piano or flute, which I love to do. Our worship service today is led by Barry Bendar. Over there. Barry is a political science graduate of William Patterson College and has been a social and political activist since 2001. He is father of 2 adult children and resides in Forked River, New Jersey, and is a founding member of Voter Choice New Jersey. And I just learned this morning that he has been a member of the Unitarian Universalist Ocean County congregation for the past 4 years. Yes, so now he's very familiar with our faith, so it's good to know that. And I think he'll tell you the story of how that happened when he's up here. Video of today's service will be available on our YouTube channel later today. To those gathered live on Facebook, we welcome your comments as well as your joys and sorrows on that platform. Please remember that this video will be on the internet, so do not share information best kept private. Okay, so we have a few announcements this morning. One of our largest fundraisers here at UUCSJS is our annual auction that happens every November. If you missed it last fall or are looking for more opportunities to help UUCSJS and have a little fun, I'd say more than a little, check out the back table to sign up for Rick and Colette's special small plate and wine pairing event. It should be a lot of fun. Highly recommended. While you're in the mood for signing up for things, check out the sign-up sheet in the foyer to bring a side dish to our annual in-gathering picnic on September 6th. So join us next Sunday for a special talk by UUCSJS member David Fenimore, The Odyssey, Movie, Myth, Metaphor. And just to put in a little plug for this, David's, as you know, taught at the University of Nevada for many years, and he taught the Odyssey to the undergrads for several years. And so he knows his way around Homer. I would highly recommend it. It should be very interactive, inspiring, interesting. I've run out of I words. Exciting, and no pressure, David. It's all going to be good. So bring your milk duds. Okay. Welcome to worship.
friendship on. Delicious memories I made with you. All those lazy Thursday afternoons when we'd sit around and argue, or we'd laugh and share the news, and the differences we had made the world easier to view. Now you're gone, but I still feel you near. I can hear your voice so clearly, telling me exactly what I ought to do. Sometimes I listen to, I will love you till the sun no longer sets. Because of you, I live my life with no regret. I hope to someday be a beacon like you always were for me. And the world, it tastes much sweeter 'cause I've shared the gift of we. I will love you till the sun no longer sets. Because of you, I live my life with no regret. I hope to someday be a beacon like you always were for me. And the world, it tastes much sweeter 'cause I've shared the gift of we. And the memory of your kindness always lives inside of me.
That was beautiful, thank you. Welcome into this place of healing. Welcome into this place of challenge and of growth. Welcome into this place of imperfection and aspiration. Here you are whole. Here you are holy. Here you are wholly loved. Our chalice lighter today is Julie Spradlin. Please join me in reading the chalice lighting words in your order of service. As we light this chalice, we kindle the spirit of the great turning, the movement for justice alive in this nation today. May we feel it in our bones, and in the stillness of this hour, may we sense it calling our name. Please rise now in body or spirit and sing our gathering hymn, Walking with You. The words are printed in your order of service.
And they're going to be up on the screen, which is nice because we get to see your pretty faces. Walking with you, walking with you is my prayer. Walking, walking with you, walking with you is my prayer. Singing, singing with you, singing with you is my prayer. Singing, singing with you, singing with you is my prayer. Walking, walking with you, walking with you is my prayer. Walking with you, walking with you is my prayer.
So as Unitarian Universalists, our commitment to democracy is theological. Our shared values call us to participate in and defend democracy as a way to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, with the knowledge that we are all interconnected. The story I have for you today is about 5 people wearing blindfolds who were once brought into a room in the middle of which stood an elephant. Maybe you all have heard this story before. Each person was directed to a different part of the animal, and then all 5 were encouraged to explore and discover whatever they could. The first person explored one of the elephant's legs. "This creature," she said, "is like a strong tree." The second person was led to the elephant's tail. "No," he said, "it is like a thick rope." The third person was investigating the elephant's ear. "You're both wrong," he said. "It's like a giant palm leaf." "No, no, no," said the fourth person, who was engaged in the elephant's trunk. "It's like a thick snake." The fifth, who had been led to the elephant's body, simply laughed to herself. How could they all be so wrong? This thing is like a huge boulder. The 5 argued with each other for some time, all certain that they were accurately describing what they were experiencing, none able to change the mind of even one of the others. At last, they took off their blindfolds and discovered that each was right and each was wrong. It was only when they combined their descriptions that they began to understand the elephant. Now, we know that healthy communities create ways for many perspectives to be heard before making a decision. And that is the intersection of our faith and ranked choice voting, what our guest speaker is going to tell you all about in a little while. So instead of forcing everyone into one winner-takes-all choice, ranked choice voting recognizes that people often have more nuanced preferences. It values the complexity of the community rather than pretending that there are only 2 sides. I am really excited for you all to learn more about that with our guest speaker. Unfortunately, I have to watch on the replay later because I now invite all those young people or young at heart to join us in our RE Learning Lab, where we'll do a little talking, some creating, today a little tasting. You'll all find out about that even later. But before we do that, we will light our children's religious education lantern. We light this lantern, I don't know where my words are. I can't remember how it goes. Oh, here we are. We light this lantern for our children and youth and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lighted in each of us, honoring the light each of us brings into the world, rejoicing in the community that we create together.
A book is provided in the foyer in which you are encouraged to write whatever joys and sorrows you have. I will now read what you have shared. Don't forget, the UU Women's Group is sponsoring an ice cream special after today's services. Meet us in the foyer for the ice cream of your choice. Anonymous, it doesn't have a name, but yay, that sounds great. Thank you. Thank you, Women's Group. Rick and I would like to apologize to everyone that did not receive an invitation to our housewarming. Every member was sent a personal invitation via email, but we have been told that too many of the emails are not received. We sincerely apologize to everyone that did not receive an invitation. You were all missed. With love, Colette. Thank you, Colette. Oh, there's one more. Okay. All right. Daughter Zoe now has her master's in astrophysics. Yay! Gina.
Okay.
Gina.
I'll take it back now.
No, you can't have it.
Thank you.
All right. So let us share a quiet time together to reflect on our week. During the musical interlude, you may come forward and place a pebble in the water to acknowledge a personal joy or sorrow. Let us be in the spirit of prayer. Blessed and holy creation, universe of wonder, mystery beyond definition, we share today our joys and sorrows, listening deeply to the things that cause us to weep or worry, and lifting our hearts as one at those things we would celebrate together. Our hearts are touched by this shared ritual, and we are connected. We pray for those who are apart from us, whether by distance, time, or conflict unresolved. We pray for those who thirst, whether for water, dignity, or justice. We pray for those who are in danger and who yearn for safety. We pray for our small, blue, fragile planet. Amen.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Building bridges between our divisions.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
The offering is a sacrament of the free church. It is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join with us. More than 80% of our annual budget is supported by direct pledges and donations collected through our in-service offering. We hope that you will be as generous as you are able and support the ministry of this congregation. If this is your first time here, let the basket pass. Your presence is gift enough. You can also text a donation to 609-293-4495, or for those who are participating online, please visit uucsjs.org and click on the yellow donate button for ways to donate. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. The ushers will now collect the offering. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, let me get my clicker. Thank you, Cynthia, for the wonderful introduction. As Cynthia mentioned, I'm a member of the UUOCC in Ocean County. We meet at Murray Grove on Route 9 in Lenoka Harbor. It's hard for me to adjust here because you guys are so much more high tech than we are. It's really, I'm like, wow, if I had these toys. But anyway, I'm a founding member of, I wanted to tell you how I became a member of UUOCC, as Cynthia alluded to. 4 years ago, I was asked to give a presentation. It was an older presentation than the one we have now at the UUOCC in Lenoka Harbor. And I went and gave my presentation, and then I sat and stayed afterwards, and I've been coming back every week since. So yeah, it was a revelation. Anyway, I'm a founding member of Voter Choice New Jersey. We are focused on one thing when it comes to electoral politics, and one thing only, and that's ranked choice voting. There are a lot of other things going on. We've had lots of changes in the state with our electoral process, meaning like the line going away. But we are focused on one thing, and that's ranked choice voting. And let's see if I do this. Wow, it's working. I have to read the screen too. Voter Choice New Jersey, we are a volunteer-led, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, again, exclusively focused on ranked choice voting. We refer to as RCV. And I'm part of the team that does advocacy and education. I've been at this, oh my goodness, it's probably about 6 years that we've been doing it. And we've made some gains, so you'll see as we go through the presentation. We talk about our current electoral process and how broken it is. And these are the new slides with people popping up. It's much nicer than the old presentation. Approval ratings of political institutions are way down, as we know. Trust in government institutions is low, and I think we're at an all-time low now, I'll tell you the truth. And there's a deep cynicism in the entire political process. And we feel at Voter Choice New Jersey that the problem is with how we conduct elections. And the current process we use is called plurality voting. Okay, so if you've got your cards, and actually I have cards, I'm going to put them on the back for anyone who hasn't received one. We're going to talk about pizzas a lot today, so I hope I don't make you hungry. Anyway, with plurality voting, plurality means whoever gets the most votes wins the election. So in this case, we got our pepperoni, we got our mushroom, and they're calling it Hawaiian, I call it pineapple. The pineapple wins in a plurality vote with 40% of the votes. And I think the next slide, well, what happens then is 40% won that election. 60% of the people didn't want that candidate. So the majority of the people are not being represented by the results of that election. So here's our question from, where are the candidates that speak to the issues important to me? Why I'm always choosing between the lesser of two evils. And we all have heard that expression. And I'm tired of polarized politics. And as we know, politics can get pretty nasty. Personally, I've run 6 times in my town, and there's been some pretty nasty things said about me. I'll go along with that. It's also negative. I don't want to get involved. And as a result of this gentleman here, we see the number of people coming out to vote decreasing and decreasing and decreasing, which means our people that we're electing are being elected by fewer of our people who are eligible to vote.
Pineapple pizza.
There you go. How can we, and then if anybody has any questions, please just raise your hand, shout it out, whatever, because I'm good on my feet. And the question is, how can we rebuild trust? And we think it's with ranked choice voting. Okay? So in rebuilding the trust, we want to discourage negative politicking, minimize, and we've all heard this word, the spoiler candidate. Okay? Ensure that a true majority candidate, and this slide is wrong, it's 50% plus 1 vote, meaning a majority, okay? So that should say 50% plus 1 vote. And it encourages, with ranked choice voting, it encourages a wider pool of diverse candidates, because with ranked choice voting, nobody can be the spoiler. Okay, so with two candidates, no difference than, ranked choice voting or plurality. In this case, our pepperoni beats pineapple, 60% to 40% majority wins. There you go, first place. But with three or more candidates, okay, like we showed in that first slide, majority loses. And to let you know, the colors that are underneath kind of represent these candidates have similar platforms, similar ideology. So you had a light, what's the name of that color? I never get the colors right.
Purple.
No, the one to the right. What is it? Whatever. But they no, mustard is the winner, but the two take votes away from each other because they have similar platforms. So in this case, 60% of the people kind of like that platform, but because of the split with plurality voting, 40%, the one who gets 40% wins the election. And I could talk to you about examples of where that has happened in real life. Majority loses. Okay, so our solution is ranked choice voting. This is not really a ranked choice voting, full ranked choice voting ballot. I don't know why they have this one up here, but I think the next one shows you a ranked choice voting ballot. So again, we got our pepperoni, mushroom, Hawaiian, and chicken. And instead of picking, okay, voters choose their preferred candidate. Okay, so in this case, chicken was this voter's preferred vote. Voters can also rank the remaining candidates in order of preference. And again, the first candidate to earn majority support from the electorate, 50% plus one. Okay, one vote over 50% wins the election. And I've been at this for a little while. I was just give you an experience. I was on the boardwalk in Asbury Park and handing out the cards and, talking to people about ranked choice voting. And one gentleman said to me, well, I like the way I vote now. Why would I change the way I vote? And I said, well, with ranked choice voting, if you want to vote the way you vote now, you just pick one. And you're voting the way you vote now, in a sense. But again, there's some shortcomings to doing that. Okay. So ranked choice voting encourages more candidates to run. Okay, there are more candidates to choose from. No one can be a spoiler. That's the key why it would attract more candidates. That whole spoiler thing is really a stigma that hangs over people's heads. Okay. Ranked choice voting reduces strategic voting, wasted votes. Okay. I don't have to worry about wasting my vote. And when we go into the section of this where it talks about how ranked choice voting works, you'll understand more about that. Okay. Ranked choice voting encourages collaboration and compromise. Candidates collaborate and compromise because they want them to be ranked on the ballot. Okay. And I'll give an example of that coming up. And ranked choice voting is also known as automatic runoff. Okay. Runoff elections are expensive and often have low turnout. And we've seen in the cities here in New Jersey when they have, because many of the larger cities, Newark, Patterson, Jersey City, they do runoff elections if there's no clear majority. Every time you have an election, it costs taxpayers money. And what we've seen from experience is the turnout as the runoff continues gets smaller and smaller. So again, you've got a smaller amount of people electing your officials, your elected officials. Okay, so this is a case study from California jurisdictions for city councils. And it talks about ranked choice voting. Before ranked choice voting, and this is women, before ranked choice voting, 23% of those elected were women. When ranked choice voting was put into place, that increased to 49%. This is California municipal elections. People of color, before ranked choice voting, 41%, jumps up to 60% when we put ranked choice voting in. Ranked choice voting gives a better representation of the people who are voting. Okay, and they're talking about increased voter turnout. This is from that first New York mayoral primary, I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago, that they held in New York City. So in 2013, they don't give you a number, there was an increase of 29% the first time, and this last time, 36% increase in turnout. And there's a little thing that pops up here that says, yes, a heat wave hits New York earlier than usual for a second year in a row. The primary was held during a heat wave, yet we still had an increase in the number of people who came out. One of my favorite slides. This is ranked choice voting in the U.S. and around the world. Okay, we know Maine, Alaska, and I just want to explain the Southeast. You see the big dark blue in the Southeast. What they do in the Southeast, and there's a little bit that talks about it, it's hard to see. They do ranked choice voting for military ballots so that they don't have to keep remailing if there's a runoff election. So they've been doing that in the Southeast for quite some time. I want to speak about some other countries, okay? And I have to mention my friend Jack, who is part of ranked choice voting. He has relatives who are from Ireland, and they came here one day during an election, and they were like so confused and horrified as to how we vote. Because in Ireland, Australia, other places, but Ireland and Australia, I know they've been using ranked choice voting for over 100 years, okay? And his family were like, what is this? They were amazed. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go into the nuts and bolts. Counting votes with ranked choice voting. Okay, so we got our candidates, same ones, pepperoni, mushroom, Hawaiian, and chicken. Okay, so we show how the ballots are filled out. You can pick one, like I said to that gentleman in Asbury Park, or you rank them, okay? So again, this one's chicken, pepperoni, and mushrooms, and obviously this person hates Hawaiian because they didn't even pick Hawaiian. But that's a feature of ranked choice voting. You can leave people off, and they get no votes from you. So here's scenario one where we get a clear majority. Pepperoni got 55% of the vote. One round, we call them rounds. First round, pepperoni wins. I think we have a majority in the first round. And we're going to talk about it later, but we do other things other than presentations, like we do rank the. We did rank the sandwiches, rank the desserts. One of the favorites that people like is rank the beers. We've done a number of those. Everybody leaves happy from those. Okay, here's scenario two. No clear majority. So pepperoni only got 40%, mushroom 35%, Hawaiian got 20%, and then chicken, I guess we had chicken haters, I don't know. No clear majority there. So here we go. That was round one. Nobody has 50% plus one. There's no winner. So what happens is we eliminate the lowest vote getter. Okay. So those votes then move to whomever chose that type of pizza, whoever chose chicken, their vote then goes to their second choice. And in this case, 4% went to pepperoni and 1% went to mushroom. So you see the numbers go up. Pepperoni went to 44, mushroom went to 36, and our Hawaiian is still at 20%. But no one still has 50% plus one, so we have to keep going. So we go to still no clear majority. Whoops. We eliminate the next lowest vote getter. So now the Hawaiian goes away, and those votes go 1% to pepperoni and 19% to mushroom. So we get our majority in the third round. So if we had been doing plurality voting, pepperoni would have won with 40% of the vote. In this case, we get mushroom with 55%, and I like to use the expression, there's much more democracy here because you're better representing the people, okay? We'll talk about it. Well, I want to mention a couple of things because I said there's a slide about how candidates work together. That first Democratic primary in New York City, I forget who the two candidates were, but they got together and said, hey, look, our platforms are very much alike. I'll encourage the people who are voting for me as their first choice to put you as their second choice and vice versa. Okay, so, and I'll do an example. We have our two friends up here, Rick and Cynthia, in the front row. The three of us are running for office, okay? And I want the people who support Cynthia and Rick to put me down as their second or their third choice. Will I say bad things about Cynthia and Rick? Okay? So in that sense, that's a way that ranked choice voting eliminates negative voting. Because if you want people to list you, and with ranked choice voting, it comes into play. I don't know if you folks remember, but in Alaska, there was an election a couple of years ago, and a former vice presidential candidate was running, I think, for the House of Representatives. And she did lots of negative campaigning, and she did lots of negative things talking about ranked choice voting. And as a result, the ranked choice voting ended up with her losing that position. It has an impact. It has an impact. Anyway, we're going to talk about campaign strategy a little bit here. Okay. Our short-term goal is to enable ranked choice voting for use in local elections. And when we say local elections, we're talking about Board of Education and municipal elections. And the reason, well, I think it talks about it here. I ad-lib, but there are two bills. First of all, to use ranked choice voting, there has to be change made in Trenton to allow ranked choice voting. Right now, the only thing that's allowed is plurality voting. So there's been two bills. We've been working on them for years. There's two bills, one in the state Senate and one in the Assembly, and they've always been called the Municipal and School Board Voting Options Act, but the numbers have changed, and this is just showing you the Senate one. And then what we've also been doing is going out to municipalities to have them pass resolutions or a trigger ordinance, and I'll explain trigger ordinance. I don't remember if the slide talks about it, but I will do that. Okay, there's recent wins, but I'll talk about trigger ordinance in a second. Hoboken was our first win. They did something called a trigger ordinance. Okay, and I'll do real quick, I'll talk about trigger ordinance. What a trigger ordinance says is that as soon as the state passes the two bills that allows ranked choice voting, we're going to put a ballot question in the next election on our ballot, and the people will choose whether they want to use ranked choice voting. So Hoboken and Jersey City, we have trigger ordinances. We have resolutions in Red Bank, Princeton, Maplewood, South Orange, Montclair, South Brunswick, and Collingswood. We need some more wins because we haven't had one recently. But we're out there visiting and doing rank those and presentations like this to encourage people. What we do also is when we give presentations like this is encourage people to go to their own town council, township committee, et cetera, meetings and talk about ranked choice voting, which we will join you there too if you want backup and support for that. But those are our recent wins. Approach and execution, legislative outreach and advocacy, meaning the people in Trenton. We go and visit them at their offices, but also from time to time we'll camp out under the Gold Dome and accost state senators and assemblymen as they walk by and talk to them about ranked choice voting. And we haven't had any negative. There's been some positive, but a lot of them just kind of like, oh, that's nice, and they continue on their way. So we're going to continue to work on that. We have the RCV Rank the Blank events to give voters hands-on experience using RCV. And a lot of the ones that I've been to, it gets pretty funny because people, it almost gets like a horse race. Because if you go to one of these, people take their ballots and they fill out their ballots, and we have a board and we're counting the votes and whatever, and you see the numbers change and candidates drop off, et cetera, and like they're like, oh yeah, mine's gonna win. It's pretty funny. Anyway, we build relationships with organizations to create a strong statewide coalition for ranked choice voting. One of those organizations, the League of Women Voters, has signed on to ranked choice voting with us. And then local organizing, as I mentioned, to commit municipalities to ranked choice voting through resolutions and ordinances. And those are situations where if you're interested, you go to your town council or township committee, whichever form of government you got, and you talk about ranked choice voting. And like I said, we do support for that. And local organizing is to convince municipalities to pass resolutions and trigger ordinances. As we say, we give resources and sample materials, like if you want a resolution, a sample of a resolution to put forward, that if they're interested, we supply that. Expertise and training, which is what I'm supposed to be here doing. And then strategic guidance and state connections, meaning your legislative leaders in your particular district. The key tactics are local petitions and recruitment, candidate and local official engagement, meaning that was I was talking about going to the office, but even candidates running. If you have candidates running, I guess next year will be a legislative election, and you ask them, where do you stand on ranked choice voting? And then visibility through digital organizing, events and media. And again, I have cards that I will put on the back as soon as I'm done There's a code on there you can scan, and it brings you to our website, and there's lots of information there. And this is how you get involved. But again, the barcode that's on the card, you can use that to get to our website. And I think that is it. And if people have questions, I am...
Mary, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So let's say half of them are pizza people, let's say 60% are pizza people and 40% are cheesesteak people.
Okay.
And now there's 2 cheesesteaks on the menu and 4 pizzas. So the 4 pizzas divide and the 2 cheesesteaks win, even though they're the majority.
Right.
What stops that from happening? How do you keep
Well-
the side with less candidates running from carrying the election?
Well, actually, if we're talking political parties here, okay, and pizza's one party, and cheesesteak is another party, you would only have one candidate from each of those parties. You might have a tuna sub as another candidate, or it encourages more independent candidates.
In ranked choice, you still vote only for your party?
No. So again, if we use it in primaries, yes, you would vote in your party in the primary, but in the general election, you're voting for whomever you want to vote for. Okay? So
Let's say, like, this happened in California, there was more Democrats.
yeah, they're
than
doing,
Republicans.
what is that? I forget what what it's called. It's a particular type of voting. It has nothing to do with ranked choice voting, where everybody's all lumped together in one deal. Even ranked choice voting would affect that, though, because again, the winner would have to have 50% plus 1 vote. So, for argument's sake, if there's 5 pizzas and 3 cheesesteaks, if it gets split up, but still the winner of the election will have a majority support.
But if the 2 top vote getters are cheesesteak, doesn't that sort of leave the pizzas out of the contest?
Well, the 2 top vote getters, see, that's a different kind of voting. That's a new thing. I forget what it's called. They're using it in California. They're doing it in some other places. What is it called? Jungle primary, that's the word. Yeah. I don't know where they got that from, but I still think ranked choice voting would make that a more democratic, even if with a jungle primary. Basically, you're eliminating parties when they do the jungle primary. You're voting for people, and again, if people are going to go with parties, they're going to go with parties. But with ranked choice voting, what it guarantees, I'll give you an example. A number of years ago in Kearney, the mayor of Kearney was elected with like 31% of the vote. And this last Democratic primary for governor, okay, the winner of that primary won with 33% of the vote, which means 67% of the people didn't want that person to be the candidate. Where if he had used ranked choice voting in that primary, okay, someone would have dropped off, the low vote getter would have dropped off, those votes would have gone to their second choice, et cetera, until somebody had more than 50% of the vote. So with the jungle primary, that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, that's a completely different ballgame. Yep. I'll take right there.
With ranked choice voting, you get to put your opinion in on each candidate the first time you're voting. So each municipality or whatever it is saves money by not having election or runoffs. And
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, and that's why it's also called, some people refer to it as automatic runoff with ranked choice voting. I had something in my head and it went away, but someone else had their hand up. Yes?
How are those tabulated?
How are votes tabulated? The voting machines that we use today are completely equipped to do ranked choice voting. You don't have to pay for more equipment. We know that. We know that.
So the goal would be to get as many candidates of your party to run as you possibly can.
Well-
So that you can have more.
Well, if you're doing a jungle primary, okay, New Jersey, we don't do jungle primary, okay? Our elections is you have a candidate from Party A, a candidate from Party B, and then any other candidates that choose to run. And what it does is it, kind of levels the playing field in a sense where I'll use another example. If there's a candidate running, an independent candidate, and everything on their platform is exactly what you believe in, but nowadays, because of plurality voting, you say, oh my goodness, I can't vote for that candidate because I'll be helping this one over here that I hate, okay?
That's happening right now.
Oh yeah. But with ranked choice voting, and I refer to it as voting with your heart, okay? You're able to vote with your heart because if your candidate that you pick as your first choice is the lowest vote getter, they drop off and your vote goes to your second choice. And for argument's sake, there's that candidate that you wouldn't want elected no matter what, you leave them off your ballot. Yes, sir.
I know a couple of years ago, I had registered as an independent, and when it came time for the general election, I wasn't able to vote because my candidate didn't win. So at that point, that's what I was told when I went to vote. So at that point, they said because the person I had voted for didn't win enough votes to be on the ballot the next time around, that knocked me out. So at that point, I got disenfranchised because at that point, okay, the person I wanted didn't get in there. Now I don't get a chance to vote for someone else.
So wait a minute, you voted in a primary? The first time you voted was in a primary?
Not the very first time, but the year I was registered as an independent. And when I went to vote, I voted for my candidate. So when it came time for the general election, I went in to vote, and they said, no, you can't vote because you voted as an independent.
No one should ever.
Didn't get the vote. So
this is here in the state of New Jersey?
Yeah.
No one should ever be shut out of voting in a general election. That was illegal. I'll tell you point blank, that was illegal.
I didn't think that didn't seem right because I figured, well then, now I don't get a choice either way.
Yeah, I don't know where you were voting, but somebody needs to talk to the Board of Elections, wherever that was, because no one should ever be turned away from a general election. In a primary, okay, if you're not registered with a letter D or a letter R, okay, you're not allowed to vote unless you say, okay, I'm going to vote. I want to vote in either the D or the R, and it registers you with that party. That's how it works in New Jersey. So whomever turned you away was breaking the law. I'll tell you that point blank. Yes, ma'am.
How would primaries work if you're talking about ranked choice voting? Because, right now you have a Democratic primary and a Republican primary.
You would still, in New Jersey, because we don't have open primaries, you would still vote in your primary, but you would use ranked choice voting. Like, for instance, the last gubernatorial race, we had how many candidates? 6 candidates, okay? If they used ranked choice voting in that primary, and that was a primary, it might have come out differently. The only thing is right now, we, as Voter Choice New Jersey, are strictly working at the Board of Ed and municipal elections so that people get familiar with ranked choice voting, and then when we have to work our way up because the people in the State House might not be happy with us if we start working on their elections, but when people become familiar with it and we get a groundswell of people behind us saying, we like ranked choice voting, it'll make it easier for us to move up. Yes, sir.
I think you just started to touch on it, but what are the biggest challenges that you've had in getting ranked choice voting out there? And I guess specifically, other than just the inertia of getting over, this is how we've done it, so we're going to keep doing it.
Well, people in general have been fairly accepting in it. People in the State House are a little different because they have they're comfortable with, their little well, that's a good word too, yes. And that's what we have to overcome. But by going out to municipalities and having people with us, going to, town council, Board of Ed meetings, etc., and just talking about ranked choice voting, we're trying to work with to coin a phrase, a wave of people saying, hey, we want ranked choice voting, and if they're there visiting their legislative leaders saying, hey, we're for ranked choice voting, maybe it'll turn them a little bit. That's the idea. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
If this ever got to the national level, would that eliminate gerrymandering?
No. That's a whole different ballgame. All we're changing, All we're changing is how you vote. It'd be nice if we can get rid of gerrymandering. It'd be nice if in New Jersey, if you, I'm running out of time. If you could vote like by county, 21 counties. But no, I mean, I've seen where I used to be in Congressional District 3 in Ocean County. Now I'm in Congressional District 4. You guys have always been CD2, I believe. Yeah. So it wouldn't eliminate that. That's something else we'd have to work on. But ranked choice voting, again, the key thing for me with ranked choice voting is it ensures that the winner of your election has support in one way, shape, or form, either first, second, or third choice, or whatever, support of more than 50% of the people, as opposed to electing somebody who has less than that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I've noticed when I vote that in the lower levels at school board, sometimes, we get up to higher levels like federal voting, you get more at lower levels like school board. There's very little information about the candidates. And I'll look at that and say, they do not advertise, I don't know them, I read anything about what they support and how they may have themselves a party they're in, it's not even told or what way they lean. So it's very difficult. And so if I'm ranked choicing in that level, which you want to start at, I would know, I barely know who to say first, much less second or third.
Wow.
So well, I would like to see
if people, yeah.
a demand.
Yeah.
Apparently, for our primary for Congress, several of the candidates talked about themselves, but they only said, "Oh, I'm going to do this and that and that." They didn't give a little of their experience, which I appreciated. But one of the candidates said nothing about themselves, not on the ballot, because I didn't hear about them. This is for like the congressional representative seat in our area. There was nothing on the ballot when I voted about that person, and I was really curious about that particular person. And I feel like it's not going to work very well unless.
Yeah, well, ranked choice voting encourages, because people have made comments in the past, like, well, how do I rank the candidates if I don't know anything about them? And we feel that ranked choice voting encourages people, before they go out and vote, to do research and find out about the candidates and see what they stand for.
That's what I found that I went to the internet.
Yeah, and we feel that ranked choice voting, by introducing ranked choice voting, it encourages people to do that research, because they're going to be ranking instead of picking one. And a lot of times, I know in Ocean County, people vote by letter. That's really what it comes down to in a lot of ways. So anyway, someone else had a hand, and then we're going to...
I had another question about the primaries. I'm kind of
Okay.
stuck on that. So the way it works now, you vote in either your Democratic or Republican primary, and,
Right.
and then the party supports the winner.
Yes.
So in Paul's scenario, where you've got 5 cheesesteaks and 3 pizzas, is the party still going to support their top candidate, and then the people who lost can run again in the general election? Or
I don't know how the guerrilla primaries... I'm not... The jungle, I'm sorry.
But it seems like it would almost make primaries sort of obsolete.
Yeah, that it changes the whole ball game.
Because for a long time, they're going to still support their top winner, each party.
Yeah, I would assume.
But then the losers could still decide they're going to run in the general election.
Well, yeah, and like I said, we don't do jungle primaries here, because there's a rule. They refer to it as the sore loser rule, where when you get your petitions in to run for office, for non-D or R candidates, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on primary day. So if someone's running in that primary for D or R, and they decide to, while they're still on the ballot, to put in a petition, I think someone would bring that up and make it very clear that they're hedging their bets, and that would affect how people voted for them. That's why they call it the sore loser rule. A lot of people who run in the primary, in a sense, kind of get locked out of running in the general as an independent candidate. Yeah, that's here in New Jersey. Anyone else? All right, well, wrapping it up. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to I have cards and a petition saying we support ranked choice voting in the back. Even if you don't support, there's a sheet behind it that if you want information from us, you can sign. I'll put it back on the table in the back. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 6. Skipping through 4.
That was very enlightening. We learned so much about rank voting. And I love the line when somebody said, I'm tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. That is so true, you know, and then it is voting from the heart. So thank you for that. Okay, so today's closing words are written by Rebecca Savage. We have come to the end of our service, but not our calling in the world. We close our time together with a humble reminder that justice and equity are our spiritual practices to embrace. Each day, every day, we are blessed to be the embodiment of what is possible when justice and equity ground us in all that we do. May we go forth with the light and warmth of our chalice in our hearts until we are together again. Let's read the words together for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of unity, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gina and Katie. That was lovely. Okay. We warmly welcome all of you who are visiting us today. Everyone present in the sanctuary today are invited to share in an ice cream social with us provided by the Margaret Circle. Thank you, Margaret Circle. That was very nice. Now let us share in a moment of silent reflection to consider today's message and the meaning it has in our lives.